take two words, for example. One is historic and the second one is historical. Now, both these words are from history. Everybody knows the word history, it's a noun, and both these are adjective forms of the word history. But are they used in the same context? That's the question. It's a clear and loud no. They are not used in the same context. Where you are going to use historic, it has a different meaning, obviously. It is not the same as historical. So what is the meaning of historic? Historic means something that is very important or likely to be remembered in the future. So that is historic. For example, India has got a historic victory. India has got a historic victory. It is historic, not historical. Why? Because this particular victory is likely to be remembered. And historical is related to the past. When you are talking about an incident that took place at a point in time in the past, we use the word historical, not historic. For example, some directors try to make films on historical incidents. Historical incidents. Say, for example, Ashoka is the name of a film. So this film is made on a historical incident. So this type of words we are going to discuss today. These type of words are there which very frequently bewilder the user, especially if you are a noob, if you are a beginner. Then of course these words are a recurring headache for you. So I shall try to remove any sort of confusion from your mind today. We will learn 7 words here. Out of these 2 words are to a certain extent similar in meaning, but not the same. So they are not used interchangeably. These 2 words also are identical to a certain extent, but not the same. So these words may confuse you, but in fact, if you know the meaning of these words, you will no more be confused. You will know the proper application of these words. And last 3, 5, 6, 7. I shall give you 3 words. 3 words are to a certain extent similar in meaning, but not exactly the same. And for that reason, it is very important for us to know where these words can be applied. Number 1, I will request you as usual, please do watch this video full screen so that you can easily read what is written on the whiteboard. If you do not get the proper view of what is written here, it will be difficult for you to understand this lesson. And if possible, sit with a pen and a piece of paper, an exercise book or a notebook or anything like that. So that when I write the words here, I will be spelling the words out very loudly so that you can note down the words in your exercise book. So number 1, what's the meaning of number 1? Imaginary or invented. Imaginary or invented. Not real, not genuine. It is invented or imaginary, something that comes from our imagination. So, seeing these 2 words, you understand that you have to write here an adjective. And what is that adjective? Let me write this word for you. Let me tell you the word first. The word is fictional. Fictional. Let me write down here. F I C T I O N A L. Fictional. The word is fictional. It's an adjective. So let's make an example sentence. Here I have written an example sentence for you So look at this sentence. Some young children have a fictional friend, imaginary friend. The friend does not exist in reality, but in the imagination of their child. So, yeah, some young children have a fictional friend that to them can seem very real. That imaginary friend seems to the children to be real. And so the children are found to spend time talking to the imaginary friend, talking to that fictional friend. Other people, the members of the family, do not see anybody, so they ask that child, "What is this? Who are you talking to?" And the child says, "Oh, don't you see my friend is sitting here? I'm talking to my friend." And that friend exists in the imagination of that child, and so that friend is fictional. Fictional friend, imaginary friend. Number two, the meaning is false. Simply, the meaning is false. Okay? This word false is an adjective. Therefore, we have to write here a word which is an adjective. That's right. So what is going to be the word? That's the question. And that word may be confused with this word fictional. The word is fictitious. F I C T I T I-O-U-S, fictitious. The word is fictitious. So fictional and fictitious are to a certain extent similar in meaning, but not exactly the same. Fictitious simply means false. Fictitious does not mean imaginary or invented. So here if you say a fictitious friend, that will not be properly applicable there. So if you use this adjective before this friend, people will feel that yes, you know English, but in fact you don't have command over this language. But if you know the proper use of this word fictitious, you know it is used in place of false. Let's look at the example sentence. When arrested, the thief gave a fictitious name and address. The thief was arrested, and when the cops asked him his name, he gave a fictitious name, a false name. Simply, fictitious can be replaced by the word false, or fictitious address. Replace fictitious by false. What is that? Fictitious address or false address. So, wherever you use the word false, you may use the word fictitious in place of false. Okay? Let's move on to number three. Number three, the meaning is artificial rather than natural. Artificial rather than natural. So, here, when you see artificial, you understand that it is not, of course, false or imaginary. I told you at the beginning that these two words will be confusable, but not in fact two. Three words I shall give you now. All these three words are to a certain extent similar in nature, but in fact they have different meanings. So this number three is artificial rather than natural. And the word is factitious. F A C T I T I O U S. Factitious. So these three words, what are these three words? Fictional, fictitious, factitious. Fictional means imaginary or invented. Fictitious means false. And factitious means artificial rather than natural. If something is not natural, is artificial, then you may use this word factitious. But in that particular context, do not use fictitious or fictional. Use factitious. So where you will use factitious? Once again you see. If you see that there you can easily use artificial rather than natural, so be sure that in place of artificial, you may use the word factitious. Alright? So let's look at the example sentence. The example sentence is, I was surprised by the factitious elegance of his speech. Now see here in third brackets. It was not natural to him. So this elegance of his speech was not natural to him. So it was not natural. What else? Of course, artificial rather than natural. So if something is artificial, here you see you can use the word artificial. I was surprised by the artificial elegance of his speech. So in place of factitious, you can use the word artificial and vice versa. All right. So factitious, these three words I think you have been able to understand by now. Now let's move on to number 4. Number 4, what's the meaning? A gift or talent for something. A gift or talent for something. So seeing the meaning, you understand that this particular meaning requires a noun. And we are going to use a noun here. We're going to write a noun here. And this noun, 1, 2, 3 are there. Okay? I'm sorry, 1, 2 are there. And last 2 will pair. These 2, 4, 5 will pair. And 6 and 7 will pair. So here we are going to write the meaning of the word. A gift or talent for something. A natural gift, of course. Not that somebody has given the gift. A gift, natural gift. Seeing that word talent, you understand? Talent is natural. Talent is not, of course, acquired from somewhere externally. So the word is F-L-A-I-R. Flair. Flair. Flair means a gift or talent for something. Look at the example sentence. Emma is a name. Emma has a real flair for music. Now you see, replace the word flair with the word talent. Emma has a real talent for music. Emma has a real talent for music. So in place of talent, you may use the word flair, F-L-A-I-R, flair, which means a gift or talent for something. Let's make another example sentence. My friend has a flair for language. He has a natural gift. He has a natural talent for language. He can easily pick up languages. So whenever he gets the chance, he learns different languages because he has a flair for languages. Next, number 5, what's the meaning? A literal or figurative blaze or outburst of something. These two words sound similar, but in fact, there is a great gulf of difference between the meanings of these words. So these words, number 5, a literal or figurative blaze or outburst of something. When there is a figurative outburst or a literal outburst, then you can use this word. And what is that word? Let me write the word here first. F-L-A-R-E. Flair. This word is number 5 is flair. This one, the spelling you follow. F-L-A-I-R, flair, which means a gift or talent for something. And number 5, F-L-A-R-E, flair, which means a literal or figurative blaze or outburst of something. To make it a little clearer, I shall draw your attention to the example sentence. He rose to his feet in a sudden flare of anger, in a sudden outburst of anger. Here you see, flare, F-L-A-R-E, flare, may be replaced by outburst, and vice versa. So when you see there is a use of the word outburst, you can easily replace that, omit the word outburst and use the word flare, F-L-A-R-E, flare, which means a literal or figurative blaze or outburst of something. Say, for example, he suffers from migraines, and from time to time there is a flare of his migraine. There is a sudden flare of his migraine. And during that period, he cannot go to attend his school because he is laid down at the time with a severe headache. So that's a flare. There are some seasons in which certain diseases have a flare. When there is a flare up of the disease, then generally the patient suffering from that disease gets almost bedridden. So that is flare. Let's move on to number 6. And what is the meaning of number 6? Something added to food or drink to give it a special taste or smell. The cook wants to give the food a special taste or smell, then something is added to that food. And what is added to that food? What is that called in English? In English it is called, all of you know the word. I assure you, my dear friends. Yes, I'm going to write the word, and the word is flavor. F L A V O U R. Flavor. The word is flavor. F-L-A-V-O-U-R, flavor. And number 7, there is another word which also have almost, these two words have almost the same meaning, but they're not used in the same context with a little difference actually. So flavor means something added to food or drink to give it a special taste or smell. Look at the example sentence. The cake had a strong flavor of almonds. The cake, so the cake was mixed with almonds, and for that reason, the cake has a strong flavor of almonds. They externally added some particular thing is added, some article is added to it, some food stuff. Say, for example, you are preparing some non-veg dish, and at the time you want to give it a flavor of garlic. So what you do, you add a certain amount of garlic to it, and it gets the flavor of garlics. Chicken garlic. Yes. All right. So number 7, and that is going to be the last one for this session. A thing's basic taste or smell. It is not added externally. It is not being put into that food externally. The food has this smell or has this taste. That is original. So what is that English word? Flavor, you understand very well. Something added. When something is added externally to the food, that is called flavor. And when that is the original taste of the food or original smell of the food, what is the word used? Say, for example, to get the smell of mangoes, you don't need to add something to a mango. When you cut that mango and you start eating, you very naturally get that smell and taste. So that's the original one. So in that case, in that particular sentence, will you use the word flavor? If you don't know this next word, then of course you have to use flavor. But in fact, a person who knows the difference between flavor and that word, which I'm going to write here now, will use the most appropriate word. And that word is savor. S-A-V-O-U-R. Savor. It is flavor, it is savor. So you understand the difference? Flavor and savor. Flavor is added externally to some food or drink. Savor is the original smell or taste of that thing, a thing's basic taste or smell. Look at the example sentence. Food can lose much of its original savor when eaten cold. If you eat certain foodstuffs when they are hot, you will get the real savor of that food. But if the food is allowed to be cold and then you eat that, you may lose, the food may lose actually its savor. So you will not be able to enjoy the original savor of that food. So take that food hot. All right? Well, I think I have been successful in giving you all these words in a certain span of time, which will not be regarded by you as a long time. And so you will watch this video through and through fully, and you will pass your comments. All right, I'll be waiting for your comments, my dear friends. See you again in the next video session. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I do love myself. And that's why I'm so glad. I'm working harder every day.